Yeah, he's like this, like.
We had a black billionaires lunch.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch.
Oh,
Like,
I hate you, man.
And we here together, and we gonna keep staying together. We getting tighter.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year.
Good?
Oh, you put that thing on them.
You see how we do it here on Saturday. This is what it's.
This is the story of two of hip-hop's most powerful men, a friendship that the public watched and celebrated for 30 years, a federal criminal conviction that shattered everything, and the questions that have been floating around in pieces across the internet but never pulled together in one place. What actually happened between Sean Combs and Jay-Z, what the lawsuits said, what those prison calls actually reveal when you separate fact from fabrication, and what Jay-Z's prolonged silence may or may not tell us.
Good?
Oh, you put that thing on them.
You see how we do it here on Saturday. This is what it's.
That's what this video covers. To understand how Jay-Z's name ended up anywhere near a federal case, you first have to understand how deep this friendship actually ran. And it ran deeper than most people realize. Sean Combs and Sean Carter came up together in New York's music scene in the early 1990s. Two ambitious men from similar backgrounds, both raised by single mothers, both determined to build something nobody could take from them. Diddy left Uptown Records to found Bad Boy Records by 1993, signing Mace, Faith Evans, and a Brooklyn rapper named Christopher Wallace, who the world would come to know as the notorious B.I.G. Jay-Z, mentored early on by rapper Jaz-O, launched his debut album Reasonable Doubt in 1996, and Biggie appeared on it. So did Diddy, on a track called Brooklyn's Finest. From that moment, their careers became permanently linked. When Biggie was murdered in 1997, both men lost someone they deeply valued. Diddy had built Bad Boy Records around Wallace. Jay-Z later revealed he had spoken with Biggie just 1 hour before the rapper was killed. Their grief pushed them toward each other, and they channeled it into collaboration. Diddy appeared on Jay-Z's second album, Jay-Z appeared on Diddy's debut, No Way Out, and a brotherhood that started in ambition became something more personal. By December 1999, both men were in serious legal trouble within weeks of each other, and this is where their bond reportedly solidified in a different way. Jay-Z received 3 years probation for his role in the stabbing of record producer Lance Rivera at New York's Kit Kat Club. Weeks later, Diddy was arrested at Club New York near Times Square, following a shooting involving his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez and rapper Shyne. Jennifer Lopez walked away without charges. Diddy got 3 years probation, and Shyne served nearly a decade. 2 men, 2 close calls, 2 probations. And according to people who knew them, a friendship that grew significantly stronger because of it. Into the 2000s,
1, 2, 3. Let me get this out real quick, Tariq. Hold on.
this wasn't just a rap friendship anymore. It was a full family and business entanglement. Beyonce, who started dating Jay-Z when she was 19 and he was 31, became part of Diddy's orbit too, collaborating with him on Summertime in 2003. Jay-Z showed up to Diddy's surprise 35th birthday in 2004, his 39th birthday in 2008, attended his 4th of July parties, and the two stood side by side in 2005 at a live televised telethon, presenting a check for $1 million to Hurricane Katrina relief. Diddy also produced 6 tracks on Jay-Z's American Gangster album, including Rock Boys. And in 2009, Diddy told an interviewer something that captures just how singular this friendship was. He said Jay-Z was the only person in the world, besides his own mother, who was allowed to call him by his real first name, Sean. That is the relationship we are talking about. By 2020, Diddy gave a speech at Jay-Z's Rock Nation Black Billionaire Brunch, standing right next to Carter and telling the room, "We here together, and we gonna keep staying together. United we stand, and ain't nothing else." 2 years later, Jay-Z returned the gesture, paying video tribute to Diddy when Combs received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2022 BET Awards. That same year,
The Howard University. And also I'm gonna drop another $1 million on Deion Sanders and Jackson State because we should play for us.
Both men attended DJ Khaled's Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony, and that was the last time they were seen together in public before everything collapsed. November 2023 is where it starts. Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former girlfriend of 10 years, filed a lawsuit accusing him of rape, sex trafficking, and physical abuse spanning their entire relationship. The case settled the very next day, and Ventura would later testify in court that the settlement amount was $20 million.
DJ Khaled!
That settlement, rather than closing the door, blew it wide open. Dozens of accusers came forward in the months that followed. March 25th, 2024. The Department of Homeland Security executed simultaneous raids on Combs properties in Los Angeles, New York, and Miami. Then in May 2024, CNN released hotel surveillance footage showing Combs physically assaulting Ventura in a hallway at an Intercontinental hotel. Footage that removed any remaining public doubt about what kind of man was being described in these lawsuits. September 2024. Sean Combs was arrested. Federal prosecutors charged him with sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He was denied bail 3 times, held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, and his trial opened May 5, 2025. On July 2, 2025, the jury acquitted him on racketeering and sex trafficking, but found him guilty on 2 counts of transportation for the purposes of prostitution. October 3, 2025. A federal judge sentenced him to 4 years and 2 months, plus a $500,000 fine and 5 years of supervised release. He is currently at FCI Fort Dix in New Jersey, a low-security federal facility, working as a chaplain's assistant.
For Miami, Diddy he looks happy. Why in every clip he's smiling? And you ask what you think he's gonna do when he gets out. He's gonna write a book. He's gonna do a little documentary about his glorious time in the federal penitentiary. He looks like everything's okay.
This is where the coverage gets messy, and it is worth laying out exactly what happened, step by step, because the details matter. October 2024. Attorney Tony Busby, who at that point represented over 100 alleged victims in civil suits against Combs, filed a complaint from an anonymous accuser referred to as Jane Doe. In that original filing, she accused Combs and an unnamed Celebrity A of raping her when she was 13 years old at an after-party following the MTV Video Music Awards in September 2000. She described being driven to the party by someone who worked for Combs, being handed a drink that made her feel woozy and disoriented, going to rest in a separate room, and then being assaulted by both men while others stood by. December 8th, 2024. Busby refiled the complaint naming Celebrity A as Sean Carter, Jay-Z. The response from Jay-Z's camp came the same day, and it was aggressive. Carter published a lengthy statement calling the allegations heinous and accusing Busby of sending his attorney what was essentially a blackmail demand, calculating that the nature of the claims would pressure Jay-Z into settling quietly. His words were direct. He said it had the opposite effect and inflamed him to fight rather than pay. He challenged Busby to file a criminal complaint instead of a civil one, knowing full well that the standard of evidence required would be far higher. What also came out was that Jay-Z had already sued Busby for alleged extortion in Los Angeles on November 18th, 3 weeks before being publicly named in the refiled complaint. Busby denied the extortion claim and vowed to fight. And then the lawsuit began falling apart. Jane Doe acknowledged inconsistencies when she spoke with NBC News in December 2024. She had initially placed musician Benji Madden at the party, but his representatives confirmed he was on tour in a different state and did not attend the VMAs that year. Her own father said he had no memory of driving to pick her up from a gas station after the alleged assault, and pointed out he lived far enough upstate that a 5-hour round trip would not have been forgettable. Jay-Z's legal team sent private investigators directly to Jane Doe's home. In sworn declarations filed in court, investigators reported that during a conversation on her front porch, she allegedly said Jay-Z had nothing to do with the assault, and that Busby was the one that kind of pushed me towards going forward with him, with Jay-Z. February 14th, 2025, Jane Doe voluntarily dismissed the lawsuit with prejudice, meaning it cannot be refiled. Jay-Z's attorney stated publicly that his client had never paid one red penny
from him. It's not everything is motivated by money, and I'm sorry that he feels that it is.
And had cleared his name by fighting rather than folding. Jay-Z was never criminally charged. No law enforcement agency has named him as a suspect or a person of interest in any criminal investigation related to the Combs case. This is the part of the story that the internet has turned into a content machine, and separating what is documented from what is fabricated requires paying close attention, because both exist and they are being packaged and served to people as the same thing. Here is what is verified. Diddy's calls from prison are routinely monitored by the Bureau of Prisons. That applies to all federal inmates and is standard procedure. In March 2025, a call between Diddy and Kanye West leaked and spread quickly. The New York Post confirmed through a source close to Combs that the call was genuine, real, and not AI, were the source's exact words. Diddy apparently didn't know the call was being captured on video. The two spoke about music and Diddy's trial, and the content of the call was relatively unremarkable. Two men in the orbit of disaster keeping in touch. What is also documented in official records, Diddy broke prison rules at FCI Fort Dix in November 2025. CBS News obtained internal prison documents showing that on November 3rd, he made an unauthorized three-way call, speaking with an unnamed woman who then added a third, unidentified man to the line. The Bureau of Prisons prohibits this specifically because inmates can use conference calls to coordinate activity on the outside. Prison officials recommended he lose 90 days of phone privileges and 90 days of commissary privileges as a result. Now, the calls that people are really asking about. In October 2024, a viral audio clip circulated on TikTok, supposedly capturing a call between Diddy and one of his sons from inside prison. In it, Diddy allegedly asks whether someone named Jay had been in touch. Fans immediately assumed this meant Jay-Z. He supposedly asks whether everyone is still quiet since his arrest, says not to worry, and warns we'll get the last laugh. The clip spread fast and generated millions of views, but skepticism followed just as quickly. Commenters pointed out that federal prison calls mid-trial simply do not get leaked. One Instagram user wrote bluntly, "This is a federal case, and those phone conversations will never get leaked. This is AI." That skepticism is well-founded. There is no verified source, no journalist has authenticated the audio, and the voice quality and phrasing are consistent with what AI voice tools produce. Music industry figure Wack 100 went on DJ Vlad's YouTube channel and claimed he had played a prison call in which Diddy vented about Jay-Z not responding to him since the arrest, ghosting him essentially. Wack 100 quoted Diddy allegedly saying, "Everybody's getting their laughs on, but we'll get the last laugh," language that tracks almost exactly with the TikTok clip. Whether Wack 100 was describing the same circulating audio, had access to something separate, or was simply adding commentary to online speculation is genuinely unknown. The bottom line is this: there is no authenticated, verified prison phone call between Diddy and Jay-Z, confirmed by any journalist, court filing, or law enforcement source. The videos claiming to show one are either AI-generated, completely fabricated, or unverified clips from unknown origins. But the question underneath all of those videos is worth taking seriously. And that question is simply this: what did Jay-Z actually know? After Diddy's arrest in September 2024, Jay-Z said nothing. Not a word of public support, not a word of public distance, not a statement of any kind about the man he had called a brother for 30 years. That silence became a story in itself. 50 Cent, who had been publicly antagonizing Diddy for months, took to Instagram to joke that Jay-Z must be missing or in hiding for failing to speak out. Singer Jaguar Wright went further, appearing on Piers Morgan's show and making broad allegations against both Jay-Z and Beyonce, calling them monsters and claiming they had victims of their own. Piers Morgan aired it within hours after receiving what was described as a legal ultimatum from Jay-Z and Beyonce's legal team. Morgan pulled the segment and issued a public apology, stating Wright's claims against Jay-Z Jay-Z were totally false and have no basis in fact. Attorney Tony Busby, at an October 2024 press conference, told reporters, "The names will shock you," referring to future defendants he planned to name. He never added Jay-Z back to any filing after the Jane Doe case collapsed. The question that keeps surfacing is the one no one can definitively answer. Jay-Z and Diddy were in the same rooms for 30 years. They were at each other's birthday parties, their families intersected, they stood together at telethons and award shows and private brunches. Diddy said Jay-Z was the only person besides his mother who could call him by his first name. Is it truly possible that Jay-Z had no knowledge of what was allegedly going on behind closed doors? That is not a question with a documented answer. What is documented is the depth of the friendship, the nature of the lawsuit and its rapid collapse, and Jay-Z's decision to fight aggressively rather than quietly settle. A decision that ultimately ended with the case being dropped and him walking away without having paid a cent or faced a criminal charge. Sean Combs is 4 years into a prison sentence at FCI Fort Dix in New Jersey, working as a chaplain's assistant and reportedly requesting a presidential pardon from Donald Trump. The conviction covers 2 counts of transporting people across state lines for the purposes of prostitution. Over 70 civil complaints against him remain active, and accusers' legal teams have reserved the right to name additional defendants in future filings. Jay-Z has returned to his public and professional life. No criminal charges. The civil suit dropped with prejudice. His legal team's position is that he fought back when others would have paid to make it disappear, and that the outcome proves his innocence. What this case has already shown, regardless of where civil litigation eventually lands, is how proximity to unchecked power works in the music industry and how it cuts both ways. 30 years of friendship, collaboration, and shared spaces gave these men access, influence, and enormous wealth. And when one of them was convicted of federal crimes, that same 3 decades of shared history became something else entirely, a liability, a question, a permanent asterisk that no verdict fully erases. Jay-Z spent 30 years in the same rooms as Sean Combs. The federal courts found him uninvolved. The civil suit against him collapsed. But in the minds of millions of people watching this story unfold, 30 years of photographs and speeches and birthday parties and $1 million check held side by side does not simply vanish because a lawsuit was dropped. That is the story they have not told you in full until now.